The nanny wanted to climb the social ladder, so she secretly left a lipstick stain on the man's collar. She wanted the man's wife to discover their relationship this way. It turned out the nanny and the man were having an illicit affair. Every time the woman went on a business trip, they secretly met up at home. One day, while the woman was away, the nanny asked the man when he would divorce his wife and marry her. But the man wanted to wait until he got all of the woman's assets before divorcing. After all, if he divorced now, he'd only get half. But the nanny couldn't wait any longer. She was eager to become the lady of the house. So while the man wasn't paying attention, she left another lipstick mark on his collar. Just then, the woman came home unexpectedly. When she noticed the stain on her husband's collar, she didn't get angry. She simply scolded the nanny for not being careful with her work and punished her by ordering her to clean the house. Seeing this, the man took advantage of the moment his wife wasn't looking to go comfort the nanny. He even promised that once he got his wife's inheritance, he'd divorce his wife. But neither of them knew the woman had long known about the husband's plot. She had once been the daughter of a wealthy family. 10 years ago, she had married the man against her family's wishes, determined to marry a man who had nothing. But she never expected it was all part of his elaborate trap. The man never loved his wife. He had long grown tired of her. He had even spent 10 years undercover to win her over and marry her. He had even caused an accident that killed her parents. His goal was to seize her inheritance. He had sacrificed too much for this day to come, so he couldn't let the thing with the nanny ruin everything he had built. So he tried to convince the nanny to be patient. But what he didn't know was the nanny had long despised the woman and had wanted to replace her for a long time. So when the man wasn't watching, she deliberately knocked over a cup on the table, trying to get the woman to uncover their secret. But the woman, who already knew everything, had no intention of exposing them. She pretended to walk in and ask what happened. When she learned the nanny had accidentally broken the cup, she immediately slapped her and ordered her to clean up the broken glass on the floor. Seeing this, the man quickly rushed over to calm his wife down and gave the nanny a look, telling her to clean up and leave quickly. Relieved that his wife hadn't noticed anything suspicious, the man sighed. But he didn't know the real drama was just beginning. 3 days earlier, the woman had found the nanny's best friend and gave her $1 million to seduce her husband, because from a private investigator she had learned that her husband was the one who killed her parents. But without evidence, she couldn't bring him to justice. The detective suspected the nanny might be the only witness. After all, she was his mistress. But because the two were truly in love, it was hard for the woman to get evidence from her. So she came up with a plan to let the nanny realize that she was just a toy in the man's hands, and then turn her against him. That's why she set up this trap. But the nanny's best friend thought the woman was crazy. She was about to leave when the woman stopped her, and one sentence changed her mind. Turns out the nanny often showed off her luxury goods in front of her friend, which made her extremely jealous. When she found out the nanny had hooked a rich man, she finally understood why the nanny had suddenly become wealthy. To secure her own rise to success, the best friend agreed to the woman's plan. The woman then began the first step of her plan. She created a rich heiress persona for the nanny's friend and had her seduce the husband at the birthday party. Soon, the day of the woman's birthday party arrived. The man publicly gave his wife a necklace worth millions and even put it on her in front of the nanny. This scene drove the nanny mad. Watching the two of them being affectionate, she was filled with jealousy. She believed everything the woman had should have been hers. Just thinking about it, the nanny deliberately knocked the sliced cake onto the woman's hand. She even wore a smug look to provoke the woman. Then she apologized to the woman, claiming it wasn't on purpose. But before she could finish, the woman slapped her. She scolded her for failing to handle such a small task, saying she had disgraced the whole family. Seeing his wife angry, the man rushed over to comfort her, but a servant should behave like one. She shouldn't think she's the lady of the house just because the husband treats her kindly. So the woman ordered the nanny to clean the floor, or she'd be fired. Helpless, the nanny had no choice but to obey. Just then, the nanny's best friend walked in wearing an elegant gown. She instantly caught the man's eye. He couldn't take his eyes off her. The nanny was about to acknowledge her best friend when the woman interrupted. She claimed the friend was her own guest and said they had business to discuss with her husband. Before the nanny could speak, she asked her friend to help entertain the guests. The nanny was furious. She immediately asked what the woman meant. Was she trying to get her best friend to seduce the man? She tried to tell the truth to the man, but the woman had already discovered that the nanny used to be a hostess, and from her best friend's mouth, she learned how the nanny had pretended to be someone else to seduce her husband. She even threatened to expose the nanny's true identity. Then the man would definitely rush to distance himself from the nanny. Hearing this, the nanny was instantly scared, but she was sure her best friend would fail because the man only loved her. So she made a bet with the woman. If her friend failed, she would leave the man for good. The woman agreed without hesitation. Watching the two flirt, the nanny burned with rage. Clearly, the man had taken the bait. He was very interested in the woman's actress. He even told his wife she was a rare talent, that working with her was a guaranteed win-win deal. Seeing her husband fall into the trap, the woman began the second step of her plan. She publicly announced she would hand over company management to her husband. After the woman left, the nanny asked what they had talked about. The man brushed her off, saying it was just business. Unexpectedly, the nanny threatened the man. If he ever changed his heart, she'd reveal the truth about his role in the woman's parents' deaths. Helpless, the man had to calm the nanny down and promised he would definitely marry her. The confident nanny thought she was about to rise to the top. Little did she know the real drama had just begun.